What is going on, guys? Welcome back to your Lake Fork Guide. Hey, this week we got the Berkley Big Bass Tournament coming up, and right now we're about to give you a preview, a report, and some in-depth tips, the likes of which you've never seen. If I can get one to bite it and hold on, we'll see. There we go, got one. Exactly. So, hey, that's money. That's money. Guys, like we said, Berkley Big Bass Hourly Tournament's coming up today. I want to give you guys a report and a preview and in-depth tips, the likes of which you've never seen. What I mean by that is we're going to get on the water. I'm going to show you the baits and techniques that have been working for me on my guide trips. Hey, and we're going to give you all the details about the top areas you need to be looking for, the exact type of baits that you need to be throwing, the presentations. This is just, if I do what I'm setting out to do, what I'm attempting to achieve here is the most detailed and precise and in-depth fishing report and preview for a tournament that's ever been done. Because, hey, this is your Lake Fork Guide. And your Lake Fork Guide for about 5 years now has been the #1 place to come for all things media and social media and just news and information when it comes to Lake Fork. There's just no other place you can go that I feel like than what we've been able to do over the last 5 years. Show you guys on the water catches, giving you top bait live streams every week, seminars from the lake every week with multiple guides around the lake telling you the latest tactics and topics that are going on around the lake, and really focusing on, you know, what we've always focused on, which is loving our fellow man and helping each other catch more and bigger fish. It's what we've always been about. Today we're going to try to do the best job of that we've ever done. So we're fixing to get out there. Hey, before we do, there's another channel that runs around with us quite a bit. Old Zach Watts, my best friend, old Z-Dub, he runs around and fishes all these lakes in this area as well, including some over in DFW. In fact, recently, he was out on Ray Hubbard. And for those that don't know, Zach Watts has a channel called Fish Life Outdoors. Take a look at this giant 10-pound trophy bass that they caught on camera here recently.
I'm with it. I got the net ready, baby. Oh my God, dude! This could be a record. Oh my God! Oh my God!
Look what Mr. Henry just called, baby!
Oh my God! Hey, and we're still in the marina, okay? I told you earlier, the marina's got everything you want. 10-8-0. 10-8-0! 10-8-0!
My best fish ever.
God! That's freaking awesome. Give me a fish bump on that one.
Man, what a daggum stud. You know, we've been fortunate to catch a bunch of big giants. Hey, we're rolling into Lake Fork Marina right now. This will be the host site for the Berkley Big Bass event. And later this week on Wednesday, I'm going to bring you guys a video from the Lake Fork Marina store. Inside the store, they've got the biggest selection of Berkley baits you'll ever find. Now, in this Berkley tournament, you can only use Berkley products, Pure Fishing Products, the parent company of Berkley. We're going to walk you through the Lake Fork Marina store. I'm going to give you my top picks for the tournament, specifically under the Berkley category, and show you guys exactly what baits I would use if I was in the Berkley tournament. That video is coming up Wednesday. Right now I got my big helpers. One of them's holding the camera, the other one's in the back seat. Say something, E.
Hi.
So we got my boys here with me today. We're gonna run around the lake. We're gonna get the drone up in the air. We're gonna really show you guys some details on how to catch these bass during the Berkley tournament. So as y'all can see, I got my helpers. I got my oldest son Ty's actually holding the camera. This is my youngest son, Eli Lawson, my little buddy. Nice. Anyways, hey, I figured we would start off. You gonna be okay there, Han? I figured we would start this video off on this report by going to where I feel like you guys should start your day. This is where I've been starting my guide trips. So first thing I'm doing, first thing in the morning, is I'm pulling up to boat docks. Now, there's thousands of boat docks on Lake Fork. They're not all made the same. If you pay attention and do your research and kind of look around, you'll find boat docks that have lights at night. If you look at the boat dock that we're at right now, there's 2 green lights. They're on right now in the middle of the day. These green lights are on 24 hours a day. There's several boat docks around the lake that keep their boats on timers every night. Some of them are just on all the time. This is gonna draw bait fish in overnight. first thing in the morning, right when you start your day, right when you start your tournament, there's going to be a ton of life around these docks, and you can go in and pick off some easy fish. This is especially good to catch tournament unders on Lake Fork. So when you pull up on these boat docks in the morning, there's a few baits that are going to be key baits for you. These are the ones we've been using on our guide trips. All of these baits are slow fishing baits, man. We're just taking our time fishing real methodical around all the pilings. Anywhere there's a light, you don't necessarily have to fish under the light in the morning. You can fish all around this boat dock. If there's a stump out beside it, throw it that stump. Man, these fish are just hanging around in this area. They've been there throughout the night. They've been there at least for sure in the morning hours leading up to daylight. And they're going to be liable to be anywhere under that dock or around that dock on any piece of cover, so you can fish all of it. But you want to go real slow and methodical. A few different baits have been working really well. First one's going to be a 3/8 ounce jig. Hey, I've actually been throwing the finesse jig, the 3/16 ounce finesse jig, but I'm actually having better luck throwing a 3/8 ounce hybrid jig with a full skirt, trimming it down, putting a stroker crawl on the back. This is called crawfish drone, just anything green and brown, a little green flavored crawfish trailer, stroker crawl. These are both 6 cents baits, by the way. Anything you hear me mention from 6 cents today, which will be a lot of our baits, hey, you can go find those at 6centsfishing.com, and you can use the code YourLakeFortGuide to get a 10% discount on all orders. This shaky head worm has been working really well. It's actually catching both unders, but also we're catching some really big slot fish, and you could potentially catch an over on this shaky head. That's a 6 cent swing shake. I'm actually using the one with the pivoting head. You can use the 1/4 ounce shaky head. This is a 3/16 ounce swing shaker. The best color I've had has been watermelon candy. That's the Divine shaky head worm, 6.3 inch size. And the last bait that I'm using that's working really well is I'm wacky rigging a trick worm with, I've got a 1/2 of a nail weight in the head. I'm taking those nail weights right there, 3/64 ounce nail weight from Lunker City. I'm breaking them in half. I'm inserting that into the nose of the trick worm. Again, watermelon candy has been my best color. Now, if you're not really that familiar with Lake Fork, you don't get to come out here all the time. You're just gonna be here for the Berkley event. You might be wondering, man, where on earth, how am I gonna find the docks that have the lights on in the morning with all these thousands of docks out there? There's a real easy solution to that. We've done this for several years now, man. We're so proud of the way this product has come out, but we have the Fish Life app, L-Y-F-E. The life is spelled with a Y. You can find links to it right in the description for all different app stores and device types. The Fish Life app currently has this set of docks. It has several with lights on at night is featured on the Fish Life app. Other sets of docks are featured on the Fish Life app right now. All you gotta do is go download the app for free, go to the Lake Fork Premiums package, subscribe to that. You'll be able to see at least where a few sets of these docks that have the lights on them are. You're also gonna see some other areas. We're gonna talk about shallow water areas, transition areas, different things we're gonna talk to you in today's video. You can find all of those areas featured on the Fish Life app. In fact, everywhere you see me talking about in this video today is on the Fish Life app right now. Now, docks like these will come into play later in the day during this event, but it's a different type of dock with a different feature to it. We're gonna show you what that's like here in a minute. Right now, let's keep it moving, show you what we're doing once we leave our early morning boat dock pattern. So the second area that we're gonna hit in the mornings after we leave those lighted docks is gonna be big grass sets. We're looking for large expanses of shallow water that's just full of grass spreading all across it. You really wanna try to find those bigger grass areas. Hey, guess what? One way you can find those grass areas that are holding fish real quick, the Fish Life app, just like we referenced on the docks. This spot right here is featured currently on the Fish Life app, as well as several other spots containing grass flat type of areas. The big key component when you're fishing these grass flats is going to be the drop-offs, the deeper water, the creek channels, the drains, the low spots. You're going to want to keep your boat in and around those. Remember, as fish move, they're going to use those low spots to travel. Hey, and what you want to do is get your boat in those spots and fish on top of the shallow flats surrounding those deeper water areas. Those are going to be the areas that are going to have the most fish. As those fish move in and out of those drains, creek channels, all that, hey, they're going to spread out on that flat feed and then pull back to those drains when they decide to move some more. You got to remember, it is a transitional time of year, guys. Fall or summer to fall transition, turnovers happening. Fish are moving around the lake a lot. They haven't settled into big schools of fall fish yet. So whenever they're scattered around, stay around those drop-offs, stay around those drains, in and around those grass flats. That's going to give you a better chance to be around a higher number of fish. As far as how we're fishing in the grass flats, there's been a few key moving baits. I really prefer to fish moving baits. Hey, these grass flats, some of them are pretty dang expensive. You got to cover a lot of water while keeping your boat around those drains. So I'm really relying on moving baits more than anything else. First one's going to be a 1/4 ounce spinnerbait, just a white 1/4 ounce spinnerbait with that small gold willow blade. That's really this week, which we're filming this the week before the tournament, but this week, this little white spinnerbait has been the best bait in these grass areas where we're primarily focusing on moving baits. Another bait that's been really effective for us and continues to be effective is going to be a little 1/4 ounce lipless crankbait. Gold chrome is the color I've been throwing. You can see that one's beat up. It's caught a lot of fish for us here lately. This bait's been really good for weeks. It's still producing fish. Hey, these grass flats are going to be a prime candidate right now for you to go catch unders. That little spinnerbait and that 1/4 ounce trap, it's great at catching those under fish. Look at them schooling right there. They just start popped up schooling right here. Like, there's tons of smaller fish in these grass flats. And boy, when they get to biting and schooling like that, you can really catch a lot of them fast. We'll see. We'll see right now. All right, let's see if we can pull this off. I doubt we can, sitting down in our seat while we're explaining baits. But that'd be pretty cool if we could catch one real quick for you. You can see I'm just snapping that lipless crankbait out of that grass. There he is. Oh, he come off. He come off. Hold on, hold on. We're about to get one for y'all.
Who's gonna help you pull the fish in?
I'll take care of it, buddy. They're just little ones. If I can get one to bite it and hold on, we'll see. There we go. Got one. Got one. Just like that. Hey, it's literally that easy to catch them when they go to schooling like that. Hold on with treble hooks. Hey, that's not going to be good enough for you to get a check in hourly tournament. But in that school somewhere, I promise you, there's a 2-pound under, 1/4 ounce. Chrome trap, gold chrome, 1/4 ounce, little crankbait, little lipless crankbait, and that white spinnerbait right there, that is what's been doing it to these small schooling fish like that. And they're popping up schooling in these grass flats. And that creek channel, by the way, guys, is right there in front of us. They popped off right off the edge of that creek channel, just like we were explaining to you. Hey, if that ain't showing you that the information we're giving y'all is legit, I really don't know what else to tell you other than that. It's that easy to catch them when you get in the right areas and they go to feeding like that. One more bait that's working good in the grass flats, it's not getting near as many bites. And I'll be honest with you, for this tournament, this probably isn't the bait I would throw, because I think just about every fish I've caught on this has been a slot fish. But a 3/8 ounce white chatterbait with a white paddle tail swim bait as a trailer, hey, that does get some bites. It gets some better bites. You might luck out and popping over doing that. I haven't personally. And if you do catch one that's under, it's going to be a sure enough, like it might win an hour for you. It's going to be one of them 2+ pound unders, a big, fat, short, 16-inch fish. You will catch some of those from time to time. Most of the fish you're going to catch on that chatterbait, though, are going to be slot fish. So one more thing you can do in these grass flats, if you're in the right section of a particular grass flat, you'll see what we have scattered around us here is hydrilla and coontail grass that has matted out. It's matted to the top. You actually have a matted surface. Hey, there is a frog bite. Now, don't get me wrong, you can fish outside these mats where the grass scatters and you can do all the same patterns we just talked about. What you can also do is throw frogs on top of the matted vegetation. A lot of times when you're in these grass flats, you'll hear and see fish visibly blowing up on top of the mat while you're fishing the outside edges. Hey, if you're around that, you're experiencing that, you're witnessing that, go ahead and pick up your hollow-bodied frog, get it on top of these mats, and fish it. So for my hollow-bodied frog of choice, I've been using the 6th Sense Vega frog. Of course, you'll have to use a Berkley frog or one of the frogs made by one of the pure fishing companies. The color is white, man. And like we said, we'll say it multiple times in this video today. Shad is the deal. This time of year, these fish are hyper focused on shad. White frogs are very good shad imitators. You'll see bait fish in these shallow water areas, especially in these grass areas. You'll visually see shad along the surface, see fish chasing them at times when they're active. White is the color of frog you want to throw. As far as the way you're going to fish a frog on top of this mat, hey, you got to move some water, man. They got that thick grass mat. They've got to find that frog through all that matted out vegetation. Now, those fish can come right through that grass mat and eat your frog, no problem. They're going to miss it sometimes, but they can eat it. Your job as the fisherman is to make sure that they know exactly where it is to help them zero in on your target, which is this frog. So you want to go ahead and pop it. You want to give some good pops. You want to give some sharp, subtle pops to it. Disturb a lot of water. Help those fish find that grass or find that frog in that grass. All right, guys, so the next type of area I'm going to tell you about is going to be something you can pull through, honestly, off and on throughout the day. For me personally, I've primarily been running this in the middle of the day, the afternoon hours. It's really kind of a nondescript, off the beaten path type of pattern. It's just a small main lake pocket like you see behind me. These are small pockets. They're scattered all across Lake Fork. But what's been going on is we've been experiencing turnover conditions, and anytime the turnover happens, many of you know, fish are going to tend to go shallow. Bigger fish, smaller fish, all these main lake fish that have gathered up on the offshore structure that's back behind the camera right now throughout the summer have now come into these pockets, and we really haven't started that true fall migration just yet. So there's still a lot of fish kind of randomly scattered throughout the lake. And these small main lake pockets make really, really good temporary homes for these main lake oriented fish. Now, if you fish Lake Fork in the summertime, you know what that means. There's a whole lot of big fish scattered out in some little bitty pockets up in the main lake right now. It's a very random pattern at times, but you can pull into these main lake pockets, just fish them hard, fish them thorough, and you're gonna come up with random bites here and there in these pockets. And a lot of times the biggest fish you'll catch all day are gonna be in these small main lake pockets. That being said, not the best place to go catch an under. You can catch some unders on this pattern. It's not as common as it is in the other areas we've talked about, the docks and the grassy areas. This is going to be more of a slot fish deal, but you have a very, very, very real chance this time of year. Stand still, son. You have a very real chance this time of year to catch a really big over in these random small main lake pockets. Let me show you some baits and how we're fishing these areas. All right, so what you're gonna find in most of these small main lake pockets, you're gonna find standing timber, brush, and docks. That's gonna be your main cover, and all three of those are hard cover sources. So you're gonna wanna fish baits that you can fish efficiently and draw bites around hard cover. Hey, nothing better than that than a square bill. This is the Crush 50X. This is a square bill I've been using. That color is called Shad Drone. Now, you gotta use a Berkley square bill. But get a shad type color like this. It can be like sexy shad. You can even use citrus shad in some of these areas, especially if the water has a little more stain. We're kind of down towards the south end of the lake right now. This water's really clean. Even though we've been going through turnover, a big part of the main lake down here, the water is still really clean. We have not had a hard turnover this year. It's been a little different than sometimes in the years past. But a square bill is so great because it will go around all that timber, brush, and those dock pilings, and it will come into contact with those hard objects, and it'll deflect. That's going to take these fish that are experiencing turnover conditions, take these fish that are in transition and not really just full on feeding. It's going to cause them to bite because it's going to make them react when that bait deflects off cover. Very, very good bait to come in here and cover water quickly and efficiently in these small pockets. You can hit a bunch of them in a day by using a square bill. If you get into one of those pockets and you get a bite or two, hey, same thing like on the docks. Shaky head and a wacky worm are both working really well. 3/16 ounce shaky head, watermelon candy, divine shaky head worm. Hey, zoom trick worm on the wacky worm, watermelon candy on that as well, half a nail weight in the head. Those two baits can work just about anywhere you can fish them on the lake right now. But the problem is when you need to cover water and locate fish, those take too long. You got to fish them real slow. Once you know there's fish in that area, like we do on the docks in the morning with the lights, you can slow down with those baits and really get some extra bites and start catching numbers of fish. One more thing, if you're using the live sonar technology while you're fishing this tournament, using Garmin Live Scope or Lowrance Active Target, jerkbait is about as good a tool as you can find, guys. This is a Provoke 106X. Most of my fish, even in these shallow pockets, most of my fish are coming in 4 foot of water or less. That shallow jerkbait, Provoke 106X from 6 cents, Berkley will have something like this. But again, as you see, we're using shad patterns. Everything's about shad this time of year. These fish are hyper focused on shad. But you can really see this bait really well on your live sonars. You can watch the fish react. You can tell if a fish will react by using a jerkbait. It's another bait that has such an erratic action when you're twitching it. It causes reluctant fish that don't really want to bite to react and go ahead and you can catch them like that. So those are the baits we're using. These main lake pockets are kind of nondescript. There's not really a lot to tell one apart from the other. One thing I will say, the ones that have better drop-offs and better channels and drains running through them, those are going to tend to hold more fish. The ones that are closer to main lake, like big dominant pieces of main lake structure, so if you've got like a super long, big, huge main lake point out in front of a creek arm and there's a little small pocket off to the side of it, hey, that's going to be a high percentage pocket. One real easy way, I know I'll say it a bunch, one real easy way for you guys to find it is to subscribe to the Lake Fork package on the Fish Life app. We've got some marked. This one right here is marked. Just like I told y'all, everything we're showing you today is marked on the Fish Life app. Well guys, the last place we're gonna show you today is gonna be main lake docks. Hey, especially once you get later in the day, the last few hours of your tournament competition, you're from about 11 o'clock noon on, man, these main lake docks can really play a key role for you. Now earlier we talked about docks specifically relating to the lights overnight. By the time you get to the middle of the day, it becomes about anti-lights. You want to get away from the docks that had the lights shining on them all night. You want to get away from the docks that still have the lights on. You want to be in the deepest, darkest shade you can. But there's some key factors to make some of these docks, because all docks can provide shade for you in the high sun part of the day. Two things that are going to be a big factor in helping you select the right docks to fish. First one is going to be bottom contour structure, especially creek channel swings. As fish move, which they are a lot during summer to fall transition, and even throughout fall, they move a ton. Anytime fish move, creek channels become like their avenues of travel, their highways, their road system throughout the bottom of the lake. Anytime you have creek channel swings that come up underneath docks or get relatively close to docks, that's going to allow a lot of fish during a movement time of year like now for those fish to get on those docks that are the closest to those creek channel swings. We're showing you some on the map now. Down this stretch of docks that I'm on right here, the creek channel actually swings in a few different times. It goes right up to the docks. There's a creek channel right outside of this dock right here that's right behind me. There's also another bend where it goes underneath one of the docks further on down this bank as we're showing you on the map. Look for those things on your maps, on your Navionics. That's going to help you decide which docks are going to be the best ones to fish in the afternoon on the main lake. The second thing is brush. A lot of fishermen own boat docks out here on Lake Fork. Man, they like to brush up their docks. A lot of them do. There's a ton of brushed up docks. But hey, how do you know which docks have brush under the water? It's great when you can see the brush sticking out top of the water. The lake is down a little bit right now, so you can see some of that. But there's a lot of brush that you'll never see unless you're looking at it on your live sonar, or you can identify where brush is that you can't see by looking for ropes. What do I mean by looking for ropes? Well, if you look at some of the docks on this stretch, you'll see that several of them, all across the lake really, you'll see a lot of ropes hanging down from the base of the dock. Hey, that is holding brush. Those people have anchored that brush there. They've tied the top of it to a rope to hold that brush in place, keep it from drifting off, keep it from deteriorating as bad. That way they know it'll always stay at their dock. So if you find the docks that have a ton of rope sticking down all over them like we're showing you now, hey, that's gonna be your best docks. Find that with a creek channel bend coming up to it. Those are the very best docks. Those are going to be the very best docks you can fish. The baits go that I'm fishing in the middle of the day on docks. Hey, like I said, it becomes all about shade. It's baits that I can get up under the docks, right? The shaky head and the wacky worm are still going to play a role. That jig, the same baits we fish the dock with in the morning, we're going to fish those same baits on these docks in the afternoon. One thing I will tell you, this stretch today is very windy. We haven't had a lot of wind lately, but today this stretch is very windy. I really like throwing the wacky worm the most. As the sun gets up higher and higher throughout the day, those fish will suspend under that hardest part of the shade under those docks, and that's where that slow fall of that wacky worm can catch those fish suspending up under that shade in the docks. The wacky worm tends to be the best one later in the day. If it's this windy, you're not going to be able to fish a wacky worm realistically underneath docks, okay? Learning how to skip a wacky worm is not the easiest thing in the world to do. It sure ain't going to be easy. It's going to be basically impossible for anybody, I don't care who it is, me, you, or anybody else, to skip a wacky worm up under these docks, under these windy conditions. You're also going to have a hard time feeling it. In that situation, I would try the jig and the shaky head. If I couldn't get them bit, what I would do is take a swim jig. I would give me a small profile swim jig with a small trailer, make a short little swim jig, and that way I can skip that swim jig under those docks and swim it just under the surface in those docks. Well, folks, that's gonna do it for our in-depth preview report, whatever you want to call it. We gave you a bunch of tips. We tried to really break down the areas that are working best. How if you hook me with that little trap, get that thing out there away from me, dude. Come on. Oh, one just popped right there. So I'll tell you what's going to go on right now. We got to say goodbye to you guys for now. Like we said, hope this video helps you a ton. My two helpers, Mr. Ty, Mr. Eli. Good job, boys. High fives. Good job on the camera. Good job, co-host. That's my dogs right there. Hey, we got some links down there for you guys to click. I know this is the Berkley tournament, but most of the baits that I showed you today are from 6 Sense Fishing. Like we said earlier, go to 6sensefishing.com. When you go to checkout on their website, be sure you punch in the code Your Lake Fork Guide. You'll save 10% on everything you order there. Also, the Fish Life app, it's linked below. As you can see, it's holding some fish right now. Like, you guys are going to want to, if you really want to know about these spots, there's no better way than check out the Fish Life app. It's going to give you exact waypoints of where we're fishing, including the areas we showed you today, plus more. It's going to tell you what type of area that is, what baits are working best right now in those areas. Never been anything as current and accurate and precise and in-depth when it comes to bass fishing information is what you'll find on the Fish Life app. Boys,
what's up?
Your dad sure can talk.
Yes, sir.
Dad's done enough talking today. All them links are down there. Y'all get to clicking. We're about to get to fishing. And we'll see you next time right here. Where we gonna see him, Ty?
On Your Lake Fork Guide.
Man's a natural now. He's a natural.
Woo!
Hey.
I know what you're trying to do.
Lift. Snap it and lift.
Hold on, I just saw a splash.
Did you get it off?
Yeah, I saw a splash. It's hung up. It's pulling.
You have a fish? You got a fish. Real.
It's heavy.
real.
He's like common grass or something.
Yeah, lift your rod up, 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 up. You got one, T. Yeah, he's swimming, look. All right, hold on, stop reeling, stop reeling. Come here, buddy. Look at that.
Dang, son.
He's not big, but you know what that is, folks?
What is it?
I told y'all them good unders in that grass flood. Look at that right there. Dude, that is like a perfect fish for that tournament. Let's see. Look at that, folks. Huh? That is perfection. Exactly. So, hey, that's money. That's money. I don't know what kind of lipless crankbaits Pure Fishing makes or Berkley makes, but get you one. There you go, T. Grab it.
Hold this.
Up, up. There you go. T.Y. Looking like a little bass master. Look, a little bass champ, because it's a bass champs tournament. Look at that. That's awesome, dude. Good job. You want to take a picture of it real quick?
Sure.
All right, we'll get a picture of it. Hold on.